Welcome to the fourth video of That's What Shakespeare Said, where I'm covering some of the most well-known idioms that Shakespeare either made up himself in his works or he made them popular by using them in his works. They're sayings in the culture that we still use that you can't take literally because they're meant to be taken figuratively to mean something else. So let's get started and review our next 6 idioms. All right, idiom number 19 is to lie low, and that comes from Much Ado About Nothing. Antonio says this: if he could right himself with quarreling, some of us would lie low. So the idea here to lie low means to keep a low profile, to stay out of the way, to stay out of sight, to wait things out. In this quote, Leonardo may be trying to fight to save his pride, and this is almost a caution to stay out of his way. So if you lay low, you stay out of the way. So here's an example. After they had a big fight after prom, he decided to lie low until things cooled off and they could talk without being angry. Idiom number 20 is live long day, and that's from Julius Caesar. One of the tribunes, Marullus, is yelling at the people who are celebrating Caesar coming down the streets of Rome in triumph. He tells them, have you climbed up to the walls and battlements, to towers and windows, yea, to chimney tops, your infants in your arms, and there have sat the livelong day with patient expectation to see great Pompey pass the streets of Rome? Livelong day simply means to go through kind of a slow, tedious period of time. Could be a whole day, or it could just seem like it was a whole day. You might have also heard this in that, I've been working on the railroad song. How long you been working? All the live long day. Just means a long period that kind of has drug. So an example was, even though it was a short shift at work, I felt like I was there the live long day. I was just ready to be done. Idiom number 21, love is blind, from The Merchant of Venice. This phrase actually was used by Chaucer in 1405, but it became popular when Shakespeare used it in the late 1500s, and he used this phrase in at least 3 plays. Here's what Jessica says. Here, catch this casket, it is worth the pains. I'm glad 'tis night, you do not look on me, for I am much ashamed of my exchange. But love is blind, and lovers cannot see the pretty follies that themselves commit. For if they could, Cupid himself would blush to see me thus transformed to a boy. So the phrase love is blind can have kind of multiple expressions that basically apply the same basic idea. In other words, being in love can make us overlook some things in the people that we're in love with. So people use this maybe when a person is with someone that's not good for them, that kind of drags them down, or they could say that about someone who is in love with another person who has a lot of obvious faults and they just seem to overlook them. Or when there's a couple that in a relationship, one is considered less attractive than the other. And so people would say, oh, love is blind, right? So an example would be, when she married him, people either thought that love was blind or he had a lot of money to make up for it. So that's the idea. The next one, number 22, is Naked Truth, from Love's Labor Lost. Adriano de Armado says this: the naked truth of it is, I have no shirt, I go woolward for penance. So this quote actually can be taken literally because Armado has removed his shirt and has a rough wool garment directly on his skin, which would be kind of punishing. But it also has a figurative meaning of kind of like a raw, pure, unfiltered truth. You could also argue that it's personification, right? Because the concept of truth can't actually be naked like a person. So it just means like the straight up truth. Here's an example. When it came down to it, the naked truth was that he took the job just so he could move out and start a life on his own. Idiom number 23, one fell swoop, from Macbeth. Macduff says this when he finds out his wife and children were killed. All my pretty ones? Did you say all? Oh, hell kite, all? What? All my pretty chickens and their dam at one fell swoop? So in the play, Macduff finds out that Macbeth has ordered all of his family to be killed. One fell swoop means entirely and all at once, right? It's part of the metaphor that Macduff uses. He calls Macbeth a hell kite, which is a bird of prey, and that it fell out of the sky. It kind of swooped down and killed his chicks and the mother hen as well. So one fell swoop means just entirely and completely. So example, due to office cutbacks, half the staff was laid off in one fell swoop. So it doesn't always now when we use it mean that people were dispatched or killed. It could just mean that we're entirely gotten rid of or entirely taken care of. Now our last idiom of this video is number 24, which is to play fast and loose, and that's from King John. King Philip says this, "And shall these hands, so lately purged of blood, so newly joined in love, so strong in both, unyoke this seizure and this kind regret, play fast and loose with faith?" So fast and loose actually was originally in the 14th century a scam game. If you think of like the moving of the shells game, it was kind of a game that was meant to take people of their money, but it's believed that Shakespeare was the first person to use it figuratively, and he did make it popular. Now, what it means is to kind of be shady or underhanded or to not be on the up and up, right? If you play fast and loose, you're willing to bend the rules to suit your needs. So an example would be, I won't play with him anymore because he always plays fast and loose with the rules, bending them just to put himself on top. Thanks for taking the time to check out a few more of Shakespeare's idioms. Would love for you to subscribe to the channel. There's a lot more on here. This is the playlist of the rest of the idioms of That's What Shakespeare Said, and a couple other playlists as well that might be of interest. So check them out. Until next time.